Thank you so much for being our second guest ever on Radio GPS. We appreciate you giving us your time today. My name is Oliver, and I'm joined today by Jake and Deacon.
2 weeks ago...
G'day, boys.
2 weeks ago at Bathurst, you came third and was standing on the podium again. That must have been some experience.
It was a great experience. It's very hard to get to that point in your career, and to stand on a podium like that is very special. It's something that I've been trying to strive for a long time. So it's a very special day for us. We had a lot of support there with my family, with all our team sponsors, all the crew that work on the cars. So there's a lot that goes into those big events. And to get a trophy at the end of the day is what everyone's aiming for. So it was a very special day and something that I'll remember for a long time.
How did you get to a position where you drive at the Bathurst 1000 and have your own racing team?
Yeah, many years ago we had our own race team, but the journey started a long time ago when I was actually 8 years old, and my dad got me involved in go-karting, and we sort of traveled around the countryside, did that for a very long time and did very well at that. And then the ambition was to progress and move forward in car racing, and we decided we wanted to try and prepare our own cars and run our own team. And that took me to a certain point in my career, and then from there, it's very tricky to go from doing it as a passion or actually getting paid to do it professionally. And that's what I've been lucky enough to do for probably the last 10 or 12 years. So it has been a very long journey. I'm 37 now, so I was 8 years old when I started. But yeah, it does take a very long time to get to that level, I guess. And it's something that I've done with my family, which has been fantastic. And there's been a lot of people along the way that have helped me. Car racing is very expensive, so you need good sponsors, good people supporting you along the way. I'm just a lucky one that gets to sit behind the wheel and steer the steering wheel.
Of all the cars you have driven, what would be your dream car to race in?
I've driven some amazing cars. So I've driven, obviously, the V8 Supercar, which I drive a Mustang at the moment. Also driven a lot of GT cars. So they're more European-style cars of Ferrari, Mercedes, Audi, all those sort of flash-looking cars. And at the moment, I actually drive for a team that race a Lamborghini. And for me as a kid, the Lamborghini was always the car that I would play with. I had a toy car. So now to be driving that car in some big events is pretty special. I think that would probably be my most favourite car to drive right now. It's the most rewarding car to drive. It's the fastest car to drive, and it just looks really cool. So, but I also do drive another category in a Honda Type R, which is a pretty cool little sports car. But if I had to choose out of all three cars that I drive at the moment, 100% would be the Lamborghini.
You are the defending champion in the Touring Car Series and sit 83 points off Bailey Sweeney in this year's series with 2 race meetings to go. What sort of preparation and who is involved in getting ready for these races?
Yeah, I've got a few points to make up on Bailey. He's a very good young driver and done a very good job this year. And you're right, we are the defending champion, but car racing's got so many variables in it and so many things that can pop up during the year, and we probably haven't had the smoothest year. But going into the last 2 races, I've actually got a brand new car. So our team have purchased a new Honda. So I'm hoping that's going to give me a little bit of an advantage of what I had before. And hopefully we can do really well in the last 2 rounds and try and close that gap to Bailey. So we're 4th in the championship at the moment, but there's definitely a lot of points on offer and the opportunities there if we do well enough. But we've really got to do a good job. The only way we can do that is win some races. So that's what we'll try and aim to do. But I've got a big team there behind me. Wall racing, so there's probably about 10 or 12 guys that work on my car, and then they run 2 other cars as well. So we're a 3-car team, and I've got some teammates that are very fast also. So they'll be doing their best to try and beat me too. But looking forward to those last 2 rounds. That'll be my last 2 races for the year as well. So I want to try and finish the year on a real high.
I suspected that the Honda was the one that you raced it in the touring cars.
Yeah, yep, that's the one.
What do you get up to outside of racing?
I work full time as well. So I work within our family business, and we have an automotive business. So we do a lot of spray painting, of body parts for cars. We build police vehicles. So for Victorian Police, we build the police vehicle that the prisoner sits in the back of. So hopefully, kids, you won't get in there at any stage. So that keeps me very busy during the week, and it gives me a chance to go do my car racing as well when I need a little bit of time off. But I'm very busy with family, got 2 young kids, a wife, a couple of dogs. So it keeps me very, very busy in between. And I also do quite a lot of training to make sure I'm physically ready for these races. So a lot of gym work, running, riding, as much as I can to try and replicate what I'm doing in the car. But the best thing for me this time of year is I'm very race fit. I'm doing a lot of racing, so that sort of takes care of itself. But yeah, when you add in full-time job and family and kids and racing, I'm a very busy boy.
What would your advice be to young kids listening to this podcast who want to be race car drivers or successful?
Probably the best advice that I could give would be to have a dream, have something that you're working towards, be willing to sacrifice a few things along the way. So understand and learn that you can't do everything, and you sort of got to focus in on one thing in particular that you really, or 1 or 2 things or whatever it might be, to really focus on and, really go as hard as you can at those goals. So that would probably be my biggest advice, and not to be scared to sacrifice some other things that your friends might be doing, because at the end of the day, if your goals are something else, then you need to really knuckle down and go for them.
What car do you drive every day?
I'm very lucky to have a couple of cars given to me through the racing. So I have an arrangement with Honda. So I have a Honda Civic that I can drive, or I have a Ford Ranger most of the time. So I've got the option of those 2 cars. So I don't actually own a car, believe it or not. I'm lucky enough not to have to own a car. I get supplied a vehicle right now through my car racing, which is very kind of those people to do that for me. So yeah, the Ranger suits my lifestyle because I can use the ute for, jobs around home or carrying bikes or whatever it might be. And then my wife generally drives the Honda.
Anything else we might have missed or you would like to add?
Your questions have been amazing. Fantastic. How long have you been doing this podcast for?
Well, it's these 2's first time, and I've done 3 podcasts. This is my 3rd. He's done. He's really only done 2 with people. He's done the last one was with Olivia Vivian, but the first one was just What was it?
And what made you want to do this?
Well, I just wanted to interview somebody and
Because you're very good. Questions are very good.
I like speaking into the microphone.
And I've always just wanted to be on a podcast and do something like this. Like, I've got my own podcast, of course, so I've got a bit of experience.
Your questions are very good, and you're speaking to the microphone really well. So do you think you'd do something in radio, or is that what you're looking to do?
I don't really know, but my job when I'm a grown-up will probably be a V8 Supercar driver.
Okay.
I want to drive a truck. I want to maybe be a mechanic for the V8 Supercar drivers and drive the transporters.
I want to hopefully be a musician, be successful.
Oh, fantastic. So, Jake, if you're going to be driving go-karts or you're going to be a racing car driver, you've got to get into go-karts.
Yeah.
Have you got a go-kart yet?
I got my own, but I do go-karting, and I'm good at it.
Oh, you are?
My brother does it too.
Yeah, we've gone to Sydney and Newcastle. We've gone to Picton and in Sydney, and we've gone to Go Karts Go 2 times in Newcastle, and
I know those guys that actually own that Go-Karts Go. They're the Russell brothers.
Oh yeah.
I was remember when I was racing there, I beat 16-year-olds, I think, because they had to slow down and let me past.
We with the last go kart we did was was about like 3 weeks ago. We were in Sydney, and I think it was Campbelltown.
It was electric. It was electric
Go
go-karts.
karts.
Okay. So you don't have your own go-kart yet. You're just hiring them?
No,
Yeah.
we've looked at buying a go kart at a sale, but it was
A bit old and rusty. And
no, it wasn't old and rusty. It was just too much money.
was it?
Yeah, it was,
Oh.
it was $600.
Yeah, that's it. See, that's the problem. Car racing is very expensive. Very expensive. And what about you, Oliver? Are you going to be... what sort of music are you into?
Well, like lots of heavy metal and,
Oh, okay.
I like rap. Bit of everything. Hard rock.
Yeah, nice. Very good, boys. Well, thank you so much for interviewing me. Really
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you so much for your time. Good luck at Sydney and Bathurst in the TCR series. We've loved having you as a guest on our podcast show.
It's been my absolute pleasure, boys. Thank you very much for having me on, and I'll come back anytime. You let me know.